I got that about as good as I can get it. Get to work on the tank now. I'm happy with that fit, and I can always grind some more off later. So now I'm going to do my best to take off some of this paint, again, so the fumes don't kill me when I light it. And once I get the paint off as best as I can start welding. Also, this is going to be my air intake right here. I'm going to do a little grinding on that so that this edge is straighter and it'll cooperate a little bit better. I'm not too worried about paint here because that's going to be sucked into the fire and I won't be breathing it. It'll go through the flames and out the chimney. But out here and out here, that's going to get me. So I want to get rid of that for sure. Same thing with in here. I can't really get in there, but that's going to be part of the chimney baffle, so I can't breathe that anyway. I'm just going to finish these welds to make them airtight, fill this in with some sheet metal, and anything that's under there, I won't smell it. It'll be going out the chimney. I don't always tell you guys, my brain works funny, and this idea has been in my head. It's been keeping me up nights. Like, I've already thought about what could go wrong, and I'm going to put a lot of adjustment in how much air can go in and how much air can come out, and it's guaranteed to work at least good enough. I've never built one of these before. I'm not following any plans, but I just know in my heart of hearts that it's going to do what I want it to do. The only thing I'm worried about is I may have to fill in those holes, those slots, with some sheet metal. Same thing with inside, where I made these slots and whatnot. This is going to be the belly, obviously. I don't know if you remember, and the other side will be the top. I can open the door and go in there with the plasma cutter and cut all of this out, and I can replace it with expanded metal or whatever. I can do that after the fact. I've already thought about all this. Anything that I won't be able to get to after I have welded this together, I'll still be able to change it from the inside. And anything that I'm never going to get to ever again, it's going to work. So that'll be that. That would be the baffle. Once I weld this shut, I can't get in there. So I'm going to put some ceramic wool in there, and that will filter the smoke and catch any hot embers before they come out through the chimney. And then I'll put another spark arrestor in the chimney just to play it safe in case that ever goes bad. But if that fails or goes bad, I'll never be able to get in there ever again. So I would just have to make something in the chimney, or just stuff something around right here to catch it at the last minute. So I'm taking a bit of a gamble there, but like I said, there's ways to work around that. These holes in the back, I am going to fill in. And back up here where that tube was, that's going to get filled in. But yeah, I mean, worst comes to worst, it'll be inefficient or less efficient than I thought it would be. But it's still going to do its job. And it's still going to be free heat from scrap wood or firewood that I cut and split. So at any rate, let me get that paint off and get this ground flat, and then we can start welding it together. Okay, the parts are as clean as I can get them. I have leveled my table as best as I can. It's pretty close to being on the money. So I want those channel irons on top to be level when it's on its feet, in case I want to ever put, a pot of water on there to add humidity while I'm heating and drying out the air, or if I ever want to warm up a part for a car so I can press a bearing easy or something along those lines. Even if I want to use it as a cooktop, take this thing camping or something. It's going to basically be a portable fireplace when it's done. So long story short, if the table's level and those channel irons are sitting on the upside down level on the table, then when I weld the legs on, if I leveled the legs, they should be level. But before I do that, I'm going to put in my air inlet. I re-established my center mark, front and back. So I'm going to weld that on first, and then I guess the hinges, the feet, the handle for the door, the lever to hold the door shut, it'll all start to take shape and make sense. I gotta slide that further back, but I welded it on too good. This side don't look too bad. I could work with this. But this side, it touches and then it does not touch. So I'm gonna try strapping it down with a ratchet strap. See if that closes up the gap for me. Okay, that made a big difference. I can work with that. I think though I'll tack what I got, and then I'll get the strap out of there and move it over. Maybe even use two straps to try to close up the gap a little more to the right side of it. But the whole left side of it looks like it could be welded. Let me get another strap on there and see what happens. The other side still looks good, by the way. Okay, I'm very happy with that. Let me get some tacks in it, and then I can get those straps out of there. Hopefully I don't burn them or melt through them before I get my tacks finished and get them out of there. So if you're new to welding or you're not a welder, there's this stuff, and you put it on your work, it keeps splatter from sticking to it, but if you put it on the tip of your torch, it keeps splatter from getting stuck on that. Helps keep you from welding your tip to your wire while you're working as well. I usually always apply it before and during work, but somehow seem to have forgotten it today. A couple of visitors while I was working. Say hi, guys. Yes, that's a dog riding a quad. Bye. Later. You don't see that every day. She's pretty good up there. I personally wouldn't do that, but... Oh, please don't fall off. Okay, back to work. Well, I mean, yeah. Sure, it's stupid. Stupid like a fox. You can probably tell by the rust. It's been a few days. I had some work come in, so I haven't been able to mess with this for a week or two. I also had time to wait for some materials to come in for me to finish this. So I have my ceramic wool that's going to go inside here and become the baffle. I have my spark arresting screen, which is going to go in the fireplace just in case the ceramic wool ever fails. And I gathered up some sheet metal to fill in these gaps. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to just put a piece of sheet metal over this, or if it's less welding to just patch the holes individually. Little trick, you can put a chunk of copper or aluminum, or even a piece of wood with some tin foil on it, and slide it in behind under the hole, and it'll help you fill in the hole, and it won't weld to the steel because you can't weld copper or aluminum to steel. And then you just take it out and move it to the next hole. I think if I just go around the circumference, I'll be able to fill it pretty easy. I would like to get a bead around this chimney pipe flange. This might have to get enlarged to a 6-inch, but I'm going to try it at 4 inches going out, 3 inches going in. I think it'll work. I lit it and tried it out. It worked okay. It might need some tweaking. I'm gonna get some sheet metal cut to try to fill in these holes because I want my air to come in through here, not through here. That way I'll have more efficiency and more control over the fire. I welded this on as a handle, cut it short, but what I think I'm gonna do is cut a piece of pipe that I can slip on here, open and close it, and then take off so that the handle isn't hot, because this is gonna get hot. So yeah, I guess let me work on this strip of sheet metal to try to cork up these holes a bit. And you saw that I welded this. What you didn't see is I cut the weight off of here because it was bent. So by cutting it off, it gave me access to straighten the shaft out. And now I can weld on a device where I can adjust this and lock it in any position I want. We'll come up with that later. I can also just remove this. Even with it in, I still get a little bit of air through these holes. I don't know if you can see those good. And also, this butterfly does not seal up like airtight. Seals up pretty good, but not airtight. So you always have a little bit of air going through there to keep the fire going. And I can, you know, adjust it so it doesn't quite close all the way. Or I could drill a few more holes so that there's always at least a little bit of airflow. And I think what I might do is make something where I can hook up my shop vac to here and blow air into it to help get it blazing. I might even make a fire starter, a pipe with holes in it that I could pump propane into and use that to get the fire going, and take it with me camping and stuff like that too, because I know how to do kindling and paper and get a fire going, but it sure would be nice sometimes to just light up a gas flame, keep it going until the wood's blazing, pull it out and be done. But that'd be another project. I guess let's get to work on that metal strip. I can't get a measuring device in there, so I think what I'm going to do is just going to stick this wire in here to about there. Now I can take that and measure it and get my width. All right, I'm going to call that 2.5 on the nose. Now I'll wrap a string around there and get a circumference measurement. Just in case no one ever showed you, if you wrap a string around something, don't stretch it too much, and then you make a mark across both strings. Now when you unwrap it, you measure from one mark to the other mark, and that's how long your circumference is. Okay, here's one mark. Now we measured on the outside, and I need to go on the inside, so our mark is approximately 36 3/4. I'll go with like 36 1/4. And I'll just line up the seam where there isn't a hole, and it doesn't matter if it's a little bit short. So 36 1/4 by 2.5. There's my measurements. should have held off on welding this handle on, huh? That's all right. I can cut it into smaller pieces and work it in. It doesn't have to be all one piece. Okay, so I made individual pieces and I trimmed them each to fit. Now I'm just going to tack them here in the corners so that that clogs up the rest of the leak. I'll grind away whatever doesn't need to be here or whatever interferes with the door opening and closing. Although the door is opening and closing right now because it closes out here on this wider part and not on in here. But I'll trim this, if for no other reason, I guess just so I don't cut myself or get caught up on it. But let me get welding. Gonna be really testing my skills, this thin garbage. Have to try number 1 or number 2 setting, I guess. Start with number 2. If I keep blowing through, I'll go to 1. 2 was working good, but I blew through there. Gonna try 1. Oh, actually, I never reset it. I was on 3, so now I'm on 2. Let's see how that works out. I made it work, but I might have to go a little lower than that. Filled in the hole. Here's my ceramic wool. Got to try to get it down in there. I think what I'm going to do is cut the whole thing to this width. And then whatever's left over, I can use it to stuff whatever excess space there is up here in the front. But, you know, really, it's going to have to travel back and go out the chimney. So as long as I have one continuous piece filtering it back there, I'm happy. So that's what I'm going to do. If I can't get it in there, I may just have to plasma cut these welds. Prop it up like a can lid, put the wool in there, and then push it down and weld it into place. But I think I might be able to sneak it in. We'll give it a shot. I could not slip it in there, but that's okay because this is a game changer now. I am going to cut some sheet metal to fit inside here so that I don't have to plug all these holes. And I'm going to cut that off of there. And then I will weld this back together with the ceramic wool in there. But I think what I'm going to do is out here where the ceramic wool ends, I think I'm just going to cut out the whole roof of the propane tank. Let this take over as being the roof. And just kind of give the exhaust a little bit more flow into the ceramic wool, and out through the chimney pipe. So yeah, yep, I was trying to avoid this, but now that I did it, I think it's going to make everything easier and better. So that's a good thing. It's a good thing. This piece of sheet metal is perfect. It's pretty thick. It's much wider than what I need it to be, but it's nice and thick. The side walls are about the same as that channel iron is. If I just cut a 3.5-inch strip out of the middle of it, I can put it in underneath that channel iron and it'll fill in all my holes and reinforce me, and it'll even fill in the gap up to the other piece of channel iron. So that's what I'm gonna do.